We dropped a song last week called I'd Be Lying to Myself.
Yes.
We are so excited about it, and we're here today to tell you a little bit about the process and about the meaning, the nitty gritty, the juicy stuff. So stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff. It'll be good.
I'd be lying to myself if I didn't say the song slaps. So, songwriting process for I'd Be Lying to Myself. So we were talking about this off camera before filming this video. I actually don't remember writing this song.
Thank you, Dan. So then,
end the video. That's it. I know it sounds weird, but it was actually last summer, so quite a while ago now, best part of a year. Myself and another producer that we work with, we just had a load of writing days, just like back to back. We had like one writing day a week, and we were writing like a song or two every day that we worked together. So it was like a lot of stuff. Most of them didn't make the cut, as is, part of the process of songwriting. You got to write a load of bad songs before you write a great one. But it meant we wrote a lot of songs in that space of like 2 months. And I actually don't have a lot of memories about writing this one. I remember vaguely coming up with like the concept like lyrically and coming up with the concept like musically. And then the next thing I remember is looking back on this big list of demos that we had written and being like, that slaps. We need to work on that one. We need to finish that one.
I guess the musical process is like, we're a rock band, we want to do rock music, but at the same time we want to do music that everyone's going to enjoy, because not everyone's going to be into like, so like we want to make that approachable. So to do a song that's like rock and drum and bass was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And like it shows that like you can like just jam genres together. And if you get a good enough track, it's gonna like figure itself out and work, because they blend really well. Like you have the super drum and bass like first drop. And like the intros and stuff, that spacey stuff, and then like that, I'm dying to my da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and I think that actually says something about the songwriting process itself. Like, I don't know if any of you guys watching songwriters or producers, and maybe you relate to this, but to be honest, like 99% of the time, I don't feel inspired to write what I end up writing. Like, particularly doing it professionally, like as part of my job and as part of a band. Sometimes you just gotta write music, even if you don't have a straight up idea. Like sometimes it is that 1%, like I've got an amazing idea, I've got to rush to the studio, I've got to get it down before the idea goes. But most of the time, you like rock up to a writing session, you don't necessarily feel super inspired and you got to do the work anyway. And what I find actually really helps is if you just, and this is what happened with this song, you kind of drop any expectation or agenda about where it needs to head, and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw some sounds together, gonna throw some concepts around, some melodies, some lyrics, and just kind of see what happens. And what we ended up with this time was a drum and bass song. And it's like, oh wait, but we're a rock band. But it was a really cool song, so we just like laid it up with like the real drums and the electric guitars. And I think we got a cool mashup, but it was it's because I just knew we had to turn up, had to write something, didn't necessarily have an idea, and that happened.
And we've experienced it in Wolves when you're too precious over a song or a sound or a genre. It actually makes it incredibly tough to write a track, and actually it took us to like try and get a little bit of space to get out of that headspace, because if you're just like, I want to write a rock jam, I want it to sound like this song, I want it to sound a bit like this song, if you just create that too small a gap, everything you write you're going to end up being disappointed with. Whereas if you just say, I'm going to write music today, you like widen the spectrum, and suddenly like there's anything you can grab from all sort of musical inspirations, and then you make it yourself by writing it. Like we would never just jump into the studio and be like, oh, let's write a drum and bass track, because that's none of our expertise. We wrote a song and it, like you said, came out drum and bass, and then we made it Wolves later. So the track itself is actually a bit of a like a song about coming to find Jesus. So you start off and it's like, is there anyone out there? It's like asking questions, like I think we all do, of like, is there anybody hearing this prayer? Is anybody who's like got my back right now? Like maybe you think of guardian angels, or maybe you think of God on like a fluffy cloud, or whatever it is that you think of, like when you like are praying, like is there anybody out there? Like I think it's a question we all come to. But then as the lyrics, as you move through the song, it's the person, the subject is coming to the realization that there's so much evidence, there's so many things out there where you can see God in, whether that's like the beauty of nature, whether that's like the accuracy of like people and creation, or whether it's just like friendships and like understanding relationships.
Or like experiences in your own life of like seeing God do things as well. Yeah.
That you're coming to the point of like, actually, I would be lying to myself if I didn't give my all to this, because there's so many things and so many aspects of my life where I see God and see a reason to believe there is a God and that He loves me and that He cares about me, that I'd be lying to myself if I wasn't going to give my all to that.
Yeah. And it's more than just like coming to a realization that, I tick this box of like, I'm a Christian now, or like I believe this thing. It's more like, actually, if this is true, if the stuff that like Bible says, and if like who Jesus is, if that's all true, like it changes everything. And that's what the song kind of ends on. So I'm dying to myself. It's a bit of a weird concept to take out of context, but it's this idea of actually everything that I was actually has to go on the line, and I have to be willing to lay it all down and kind of become who God wants me to be, because it affects every part of my life.
So thank you for joining us while I've been chatting about I'd Be Lying to Myself. I'd be lying to myself if I said this wasn't fun. So thank you for joining us, and see you next time.
There you go, and go and stream I'd Be Lying to Myself by Monks Walls. That's us. Go stream it now. Let's go.
Generic goodbye.